Get down. Let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. I'm ready to give my full and definitive breakdown. I want to do this one separate from the main full card picks because that's going to drop later in the week, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. But my singular focus has been Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. So let's talk about it. And in the lead up to this fight, I was leaning DDP. Then I started leading Khamzat, and I've been flipping back and forth by the day. As more things comes out, as I'm seeing Khamzat's different techniques in training, his new program, his new conditioning. I'm looking at Dricus du Plessis. I know what he brings to the table, and I'm hearing his coach talk. And after all that, I know who I'm gonna pick in this fight. You know, a lot of people come to this fight. What happens if Dricus survives the first round? But I think it's going to be more than just first round. It's going to be hell. I think the second round could be hell. I think the third round, where we begin to start seeing Khamzat slow down, will still be competitive. And I think DDP is going to have to finish this fight in the later rounds if he wants to win this. And I do think Khamzat Chimaev can win a 25-minute decision. I think either man can win. I don't think you're crazy for picking either man. But when I look at this, people confuse Khamzat Chimaev to be the same guy. I mean, ever since he's moved up to 185, we've seen the differences. We've seen him go 3 hard rounds with Kamaru Usman where people will say he was gassed out. He was gassed out. Not necessarily. And if he was gassed, then how impressive does it make it then that he took Kamaru Usman down in the 3rd round? Didn't do much with it, but he took him down. How impressive is it that he took him down in the 2nd round and controlled him for about 2 minutes? How impressive does that become then if you want to start playing the fact that he was gassed? Because when I'm looking at Khamzat versus Kamaru Usman is the best wrestler Khamzat Chimaev has ever faced. He wasn't able to take Ikram, but I'm going to say Kamaru Usman is better than Ikram. Kamaru Usman, he took down Kamaru Usman more times in that fight than Kamaru Usman has been taken down in his entire career combined. Now, this is where it gets tricky because the new MMA criteria, just scoring a takedown isn't enough. He scored a takedown in that 2nd round. I still scored it for Kamaru Usman. He scored a takedown in that 3rd round. I still scored it for Kamaru Usman. You have to work when you're on top. You have to do something meaningful or it just doesn't matter. And that's where this fight is really tough. A lot of people overlook Khamzat Chimaev's striking. I'm going to do a deeper video into Khamzat Chimaev's new training and how he's looking in the training. Khamzat Chimaev is fast, powerful, and he's pretty sharp. On the feet, I think there's a lot of wasted movement, and he makes himself look active, even though he's somewhat low volume, but he's a lot of movement. He's changing stances, constantly making his opponent think. He was able to have some success on the feet against Kamaru, even though I think he lost the striking overall in that fight. He wasn't getting dominated, and he was able to keep up with Kamaru Usman while he was gassed. Now, when I look at Dricus du Plessis, he's not a guy that thinks. So he's switching stances and feinting things. That'll make a guy like Kamaru Usman think. Dricus doesn't think, he just goes. And whenever an opponent will blitz at Khamzat Chimaev or throw strikes at Khamzat Chimaev, he'll cover and he'll move away. He'll be backed up. He's susceptible to being backed up. And I don't know how good he is going backwards. I know he won't shoot a takedown going backwards. I don't know how good of a fighter he is going backwards because he's never going backwards. He's never in a disadvantageous position. But I look at Dricus du Plessis and I think it's stupid. I love when people wrestle the wrestler. I'm all over wrestling the wrestler. If you're a dominant wrestler and you're fighting another dominant wrestler, don't be scared to shoot. That's why I love that Arman Sarikian was shooting it on Islam Makhachev. Just because he's dominant don't mean I'm dominant too. You know, and Kamaru Usman in his Khamzat Chimaev fight, he feinted a lot of takedowns, and I would have loved to see him actually shoot some. But the thing about this is Dricus is talking a lot about wrestling the wrestler. Yeah, he's going to take me down, but what happens when I take him down? And I don't like that. I don't like that because Dricus isn't a bad wrestler, but he's not technical. And nothing about what he does is technical, but he's effective. And if you're effective, then who cares about technicality? But when I look at him, when he's taking down Israel Adesanya, he's almost falling accidentally taking down Israel Adesanya. I mean, he's stumbling and bumbling, tripping over his feet. And a guy like Khamzat's too fast and too responsive to where he'll stuff the head, he'll sprawl, and now you're in a bad position. He's threatening front chokes. Or he's turning around to your back and he's then on a body lock and he's taking your back. And I just don't think that's the correct game plan, especially when there's a clear path of least resistance and it's on the feet. Especially if Khamzat isn't in round 1 mode, and Khamzat will try to create space. If he's not the one controlling what's going on, he will shell and he will back up. Gilbert Burns did it to him. Kamaru Usman did it to him. Now, I think Khamzat Chimaev can go out there in round 1 and finish anybody, but I don't think it's round 1 or bust. I mean, Khamzat Chimaev, when he took down Kamaru Usman, in moments where he would literally just be rolling around all over the place uncontrollably with Kevin Holland, he was very controlled, he was very patient, testing some chokes. If it's not there, letting go, softening Kamaru Usman up, not really blowing it out of the water, not really just squeezing things that aren't there. Same thing with Robert Whittaker, he's very patient. He's very patient. Yes, he was aggressive, that's what he does. But once he got his advantageous position, very patient. Very patient, let the finish find itself. And that's the type of style that I think Khamzat Chimaev, if he fights, he's damn near unbeatable. Not rushing anything. Knowing I'm better than you. Knowing I'm in control. Knowing that I will force you to make a mistake. And I look at Dricus, man, anything on the mat, I don't care about your strength. I don't care about your explosiveness. I don't care about your durability. Anywhere on the mat, you're losing. Because you're not stronger than Khamzat. Maybe as fatigue starts to set in, you can have a bit of a strength advantage. But as far as technique, you're not there. You're not going to be able to just use muscles to out-grapple Khamzat Chimaev. It's just not happening. And I'm seeing Khamzat Chimaev with Sam Calavita working on that strength and conditioning. He's getting his recovery track 24/7 to where he's making sure he's not overtrained. Overtraining affects the way you show up in the fight. It affects the way you train. It affects the way you recover. It affects your ceiling, the way that you could perform. I'm seeing him, he's getting tracked daily. 24/7. He has a guy with him 24/7. Strength and conditioning 2 times a week. He's wrestling. He's getting striking, and he's looking fast. He's looking crisp. He's looking focused. And I don't know how Dricus du Plessis handles that storm. I mean, Dricus du Plessis literally falls over his feet. And I don't think it's crazy to think Khamzat Chimaev can win this fight late or win in 25 minutes. Because if Khamzat is slowing, Khamzat wasn't gassed in the 3rd round. Was he tired? Sure. 3 rounds with a high-level fighter like Kamaru Usman after the 1st round, you're not going to get the same thing in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th round that you got in the 1st round from Khamzat. It's just impossible. But on the feet, he's staying active. He's fast. He does have power. And his wrestling is just second to none. And the fact that I'm hearing Dricus du Plessis is going to try to wrestle the wrestler, now I think he's going to get out scrambled in those positions. I think Khamzat's jiu-jitsu is just going to be next level. I think it's going to be something that Dricus hasn't fought a wrestler in 5 or 6 fights. And the last time he fought a wrestler, it got tricky. He hasn't seen jiu-jitsu at the level of Khamzat Chimaev. But sitting here, it's hard to just say that's why he beats DDP, because DDP hasn't been more technical than any of his opponents in the UFC, yet he wins, if not finishes them. And by the end of the fight, he's imposed his will so bad, it's like, damn, this guy's a problem. And I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to be able to take him down in the 2nd round. I think he's going to be able to take him down in the 3rd. In the 4th, I mean, like I said, people aren't realizing who Kamaru Usman is and the fact that he took Kamaru Usman down in the 3rd. Kamaru Usman has never been taken down. He doesn't get taken down. When he got taken down by Leon Edwards, it was damn near a fluke, and nothing happened with it. The positions that he's going to be putting Dricus in, and if Khamzat starts to get tired, best believe Dricus is going to get tired. And I think about Dricus is he has that dog in him, but so does Khamzat Chimaev. They both eat their bowl of grits. They're both ready for the grit down. I've seen Khamzat grit down with Gilbert. I've seen Khamzat grit down with Kamaru Usman. A guy that's tired isn't swinging in the pocket. A guy in the pocket still doesn't have fast teep kicks. A guy who's tired isn't able to take down Kamaru fucking Usman. But it's what you do. Is he going to be able to take down Dricus and still have the same level of threat, still be active, still be doing things on top? Because he took Kamaru Usman down in the 2nd and 3rd round, but he didn't do anything with it to where I feel like he lost those rounds. And I can see him taking down Dricus du Plessis, but Dricus du Plessis, getting to his right hip, get a knee, exploding, now I'm back to my feet. And nothing's more exhausting than shooting a takedown on a guy and failing, or shooting a takedown on a guy, finally getting, and they just get back up. Dricus du Plessis has a different type of dog in him. But I don't think he's better than Khamzat in any realm of fighting, other than his grit, other than his determination, other than, yeah, I'm tired, fucking gonna throw caution to the wind, I'm going to get a motherfucker. And even right now, I came into the video knowing who I was gonna pick, and now I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, who wins this fight? I think we're gonna see the best Khamzat Chimaev we've ever seen going there against Dricus du Plessis. Like, even a tired or fatigued Khamzat Chimaev, I think still out-wrestles, still out-grapples Dricus du Plessis, because he did it to Kamaru Usman. I don't know what Khamzat looks like when he's on top in guard, if Dricus goes to his back. I don't know what Khamzat looks like if he's on his back and has to defend a takedown. Khamzat Chimaev has spent 6 seconds on his back in his entire career. But Dricus isn't going to give a fuck. When Dricus just comes in there with his eyes closed and his 1s and his 2s, and he's running at you, that could make the level changes much more easier. But I'm looking at Khamzat Chimaev when his opponent takes that route. He is hands high and he's moving away. And I feel like Dricus might be able to start putting a pace on him that could really cause some fucking problems here. I think round 1, Khamzat is going to submit Dricus du Plessis, a guy who isn't, in that 1st round, Khamzat's going to be faster. He's going to be more explosive. He's going to be technically better. He's going to be just leaps and bounds better. And Dricus is going to look to counter wrestle. And I think he's going to look to counter wrestle too much and look to scramble too much to where he's going to make a mistake. And once he makes that mistake, I think it's going to be over. I think Khamzat's going to submit Dricus du Plessis in the 1st round. I do, man. I do. I mean, this guy's falling over his feet. He uses strength against a opponent that's somewhat fatigued to overpower them. You're not going to overpower Khamzat with strength, especially in that first round. You're not going to be faster. His initial shot, nobody stops it. I can see Dricus trying to go to his knees, build a base. I can see Dricus. I think he's going to overscram. I think he's going to do too much to try to stay safe. And I think it's going to cost him in this fight. I'm picking Khamzat Chimaev first round submission. That's all I got for you. Oh, that was so tough because it sounds like I'm discrediting DDP, and DDP is one of my favorite champions. I mean, Volk, JDM, DDP. It's damn near in that order. A guy who never ducks no smoke. A guy who wants smoke with everybody. A guy who's ready to defend against everybody. A guy who wants to clear out his entire division before he even thinks about something new. But I think the brute force and the blitzing style and the chaotic style has run its course. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to get him out of there in the first round. I do. I don't see Dricus du Plessis getting taken down and trying to stay safe. I see Dricus du Plessis getting taken down and trying to prove a point early that I can hang with this guy, and I think that's gonna be the fatal mistake. I'm picking Khamzat Chimaev first round submission. Let me know who y'all got. Let me know how you think this fight is gonna go. Does it go long? Does it go short? Does it go to distance at all? Even if DDP wins, let me know. Let me know how y'all feeling. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know who enjoyed just like you did. You ain't gotta go home. You gotta get out of here, man.